I have the greatest college football bet for this weekend. You're going to want to tail it. But first, let's kind of do a recap. Again, because I'm going to start tracking profit and loss of all these YouTube plays. We can go through yesterday briefly. We're still down $1,200 about. Yesterday, we cashed Chargers plus 3.5 on the first half spread. McKinnon under 16.5 receiving yards in Thursday Night Football. We lost Mahomes over on passing yards, and we won the Nerfy Marlins Phillies. So not a bad day yesterday. Today, the only play we have is over 49 in Wyoming Air Force. But anyways, let's get into my pick for Saturday, Indiana, Western Kentucky. So what I like to do in these videos is kind of start out by just browsing through the odds, because as a sharp bettor, you're always looking for value, right? The people who bet on sports full-time for a living, and have done that consistently, it's not like they win every bet, but they're able to find bets with value, with a mathematical edge, and that's how they make money over the course of the long run. So as a sports bettor, it's critical to get the best odds in your location. If you want to bet on Western Kentucky, hopefully you're placing your bet at plus 225 on Bet365, because they're offering the best price, right? They're offering the best line on Western Kentucky. The best line on Indiana is minus 227 on Ladbrokes. So as you can see, Indiana's like 66, 67% favored to win this game according to betting markets. But the play I have is not a money line bet. The play I have is actually in the total. So I'm rolling with the under 62.5 total points at minus 114. Okay? So again, this is a pure value play for me. This bet has a 1.87% profit margin, and it's a positive EV bet. Positive EV bets just mean, mathematically profitable bets. They're bets where the sports bettor has an edge over the sports book, right? OddsJam is constantly scanning all of these odds for point spreads, money lines, really everything, updating them in real time for the sports books in your location to try to find line discrepancies, right? Where are big line discrepancies where the sports bettor actually has the advantage? And what you can see here is in Indiana, Western Kentucky, the under 62.5 is minus 114 on FanDuel. Every other sports book is pricing this 21 cents away at minus 135. So that kind of, should raise your alarm bells that, hey, this under on FanDuel seems like we may be getting pretty good value. So I ended up hitting it for, as you can see right here, $250, minus 114 odds on Western Kentucky, Indiana, under 62.5 points. So I went ahead and added it to this little sheet. 1.87% profit margin, $250 stake. The bet has $468 in profit margin. So again, like my goal as a sharp bettor is place as many positive EV bets as I can on a daily basis, right? Constantly refreshing this page, trying to place as many as I can, essentially forming like my own portfolio hedge fund of mathematically profitable bets. So another way you can think about it is if you go to an odds converter calculator, the reason being able to spot these lines with value is so critical is if you go to like an NFL game, right? The typical juice is minus 110, minus 110 throughout the sports betting market, right? Most sports books are charging minus 110, minus 110 juice. So that means you have to bet $11 to win back 10. Bet 11 to win back 10. That's the sportsbook's advantage. That's the vig. That's the juice. The sportsbook's making you bet $11 to win back 10, right? It's kind of an unfair trade, but that's how sportsbooks make money. So when you're betting at minus 110 odds, right, on the over or the under, you only need to be winning 52.4% of your bets to be profitable in the long run, right? That's what this odds converter calculator shows you. It essentially tells you when you're betting at a specific odd or a specific price, here's how many bets you need to win, to break even in the long run. So as a sharp bettor, obviously we want to win over 52.38% of our bets at minus 110 odds. If you're placing bets at minus 115 odds, so worse odds, the payout's smaller, you need to win 53.5% of your bets to break even. So at minus 110, it's only 52.4%, right? So recreational bettors, it's like the over or the under. You're just picking one of two outcomes is going to happen. The game's going to go over or under. So if you're like blindly betting the over or the under, you're probably going to be close to 50%. right? Which is most sports bettors, most recreational sports bettors who have no advantage. They're 50%, just basically blindly picking the over or the under. So they're winning less than 52.4% of the time, which is why they lose money over the course of the long run, right? And that's the sportsbook's advantage by charging $11 to win back 10 is they know most people can't beat them on spreads in totals 52.4% of the time, right? The pros, the sharp bettors, people who do this full time for a living, are winning on totals and spreads 55% of the time. So 50 versus 55, 51 versus 53, is the difference in terms of winning on spreads and totals of being profitable or not being profitable, right? So it's not like that big of a difference, which is why when you're able to find these spots with value, basically what you're doing is you're finding bets where you're getting, odds where your win probability is greater than it should be, right? According to Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, this should be priced at minus 135. We're betting it at minus 114. So when you're betting at minus 114 odds, you need to win 53.2% of your wagers, 53.27% of your wagers to break even. But if we go to a no vig fair odds calculator and we put in Pinnacle's market, so the market from the sharpest sportsbook in the world, they're pricing the under at minus 135, the over at plus 115, and you remove the vig, you remove the juice, you see that this bet is hitting 55% of the time. So we're winning this bet more than we need to, right? Which is why it's a sharp, profitable bet, right? We're winning this bet 55.26% of the time. Once you remove the juice, remove the vig from Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook's market, we're winning this bet 55.26% of the time. And we only needed to win minus, 53.27% of the time to break even. So sharp bet, I'm sure I'll have a bunch more college football bets over the course of the next few hours, days, we'll see. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and let's make some money.